Ibn Khaldun, 14th century Arab Muslim historian and philosopher. Ibn Khaldun is best known for his groundbreaking work in the field of historiography. His most famous work, the Muqaddimah, laid the foundations for modern sociology and influenced many Western thinkers such as Karl Marx and Mark Weber. Through his extensive studies and analysis, Ibn Khaldun introduced the concept of social cohesion and the cyclical nature of societies, making a significant contribution to the understanding of human history. The Muqaddimah, or Introduction, was written in 1377 and was not only a pioneering work in historiography, but it also delved into various aspects of social organization and economics. The method focused on six themes, and Khaldun was trying to create a new science, or historical sociology. He argued that history involves speculation or theorization, so therefore history must be firmly rooted in philosophy, which is theorizing. He the thing that I found the most interesting about Ibn Khaldun is the errors in historical writing that he pointed out. The first error was blind belief, or thinking that, or not being able to think of the possibility that an idea is wrong. He argued that historians should not simply accept and repeat the accounts of past events without critical examination. Instead, they should approach historical sources with skepticism and analyze them using reason and evidence in order to uncover the truth behind the narratives. This emphasis on critical thinking and questioning the status quo was a revolutionary approach to historiography. Another one of the errors he pointed out was overconfidence in sources. He argued that historians should not unquestioningly rely on the words of individuals or groups who may have had biased or self-serving agendas. Instead, they should strive to corroborate and cross-reference sources to ensure their accuracy. By doing so, they could establish a more accurate and nuanced understanding of historical events. Failure to understand intent. Another error in historical writing that Ibn Khaldun highlighted was the failure to understand intent. He emphasized the importance of considering the motives and intentions behind historical accounts, as they can greatly shape the narrative. Historians should be cautious of political, personal, or cultural bias that might have influenced the portrayal of events, and strive to uncover the underlying intentions of the sources in order to paint a more comprehensive picture of history. Mistaken belief in the truth. Khaldun also cautioned against the mistaken belief that historical accounts are always completely true or objective. He argued that historians should approach sources with a healthy skepticism, recognizing that they may contain inaccuracies, omissions, or deliberate distortions. By acknowledging the limits of sources, historians can avoid blindly accepting information without critical analysis. Inability to contextualize. He believed that historians should not only focus on the individual actions and events, but also consider the broader societal, economic, and political factors that could influence them. By understanding the larger context in which historical events unfold, historians can provide a more accurate interpretation of the past. Desire to gain favor. Khaldun argued that this could lead to a biased and unreliable historical narrative, and historians might be inclined to manipulate or suppress certain facts to please their patrons. To ensure the integrity of historical writing, Ibn Khaldun emphasized the importance of independence and impartiality in pursuit of the truth. Ignorance of laws. Khaldun believed that historians should have a strong understanding of the legal systems and cultural norms of the societies they are studying. Without this knowledge, historians risk misinterpreting the events they are describing and drawing incorrect conclusions. Ignoring historical transformations. The Khaldun stressed the importance of examining societal changes and how they impact the course of history. Failing to consider these transformations can result in a limited and distorted understanding of the past. Such changes are difficult to observe as they occur in such an unnoticeable way and take a long time to make themselves felt. The lessons that Ibn Khaldun taught us about errors in historical writing continue to be applicable even today for contemporary historians. In order to avoid errors, historians must have a deep understanding of the cultures they study and how they transform over time. By doing so, they will be better equipped to provide an accurate portrayal of the past. Furthermore, historians must also critically analyze their sources and consider potential biases and limitations that may affect the accuracy of their finding. This includes recognizing the influence of political agendas, cultural biases, and the reliability of primary and secondary sources. By acknowledging and addressing these factors, historians can strive to produce more objective and comprehensive narratives of the past. And this was really significant to me because the history that we learned in grade school, elementary school, all children are taught that Columbus discovered the world, discovered America, and we never questioned that. We never researched it. But then when we get older and we have to start researching, and we're told that Columbus did not really discover America, there's already people living there. So that's a prime example of, history being told and not facts not being checked. Another problem, history was only told from the white people's perspective. And if you got a perspective from a Native American or an African American slave, they would have a totally different perspective. And it's just fascinating to me that Ibn Khaldun had these ideas back in the 14th century, and still today in 2023, false history is still being taught.